So let's get into this broth and happening. Got my pan on. I need to chop up some tomatoes, using some beautiful whole ripe tomatoes, just into quarters or sixes if you like. This is going to base it, but I've also got some passata, so tomato passata. Take the lid off, get the oil in there. Now this was all like, it was like a bouillabaisse, you know, the French dish, so all about the broth and getting everything together. Get those tomatoes in there and sweating away. Garlic, again, I love doing it. Just squash it with your hand, the palm. Get that into nice and fragrant. Bay leaves, just a couple. Now these are the dried version, you can use the fresh if you like. Some peppercorns. Now onion. I like big chunks because I want the actual onion to be seen in the couscous. I want it to be floating around. So don't be shy, break it up a bit. And remember that by the time it's cooked down, we're talking, you know, 10, 20 minutes later, the onion's gonna be nice and soft and tender and sweet. Okay, a little bit of pepper now. And just a touch of salt, get that going. Now there is one key element here that we're missing. So the Sicilians like their little bit of heat. I'm going to just use some really hot bird's eye chili. So just probably 2, seeds in, and in they go as well. Okay, passata. This one is my own passata. Made this with my family. In that goes. Fish stock, good amount, because we've got to add the seafood in there. So we need enough so that it's covering the seafood so the fish can actually poach in the liquid, not dry out, retain all its moisture and taste. Lid back on and bring that to the boil. The stock there is boiling. So I'm cutting up the stalks of this flat leaf parsley because that's where it's packed full of flavour, and we're just going to add it into our broth so we can get this beautiful taste and also a little bit of crunch when it goes into the couscous. Okay, now the fish. Just going to slice them. Skin on, in they go. So the barramundi, the fish component, needs to poach off first. Now remember, like always, make sure you cut your fish all even pieces. That way the cooking time is exactly the same. Lid back on. Let that softly poach away for a couple minutes. Time to add the mussels and the calamari. So our black lip mussels, in they go. Spread them around. Look already, it looks beautiful. Colours. And calamari, fresh, clean, local calamari if you get your hands on it, is the best way to go. On top, little stir around. Lid back on, softly poach that away for another couple minutes and then we'll get to our couscous. Here we have it, our mussels are starting to pop open, our calamari is nice and tender, so it's time for the couscous. Okay, really simple. We need our standard couscous today. We could use wholemeal, but back then, definitely would have had just couscous. 1 cup. So the easy thing about couscous is that it's literally 1 cup of couscous to 1 cup of liquid. We take on a little bit of the fish flakes. I want to pick up a couple of these tomatoes in there. Okay, 1 cup exact. Give that a little stir. Just mix it all through. Nice and fast, get a lid on and let that sit for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Whilst the couscous is absorbing all that flavour from the stock, let's make the gremolata. Let's get our parsley on the go. Now this whole part to gremolata is really just about being refreshing. It cleanses the palate, takes away that big, abundant taste of seafood. Now I love seafood, but I like my palate to be nice and clean. So this is where the gremolata works really well. Some salt, some pepper, some crushed garlic. Okay. Lemon juice. And the juice helps bind it all together. Zest, I'm just gonna finally take some off there. In we go. Now the olive oil just to bring it all together. Give that a little mix together, get your fingers in there working around. Let's plate her up. Grab your couscous, just prong it up. It's absorbed all that liquid, And look, we've still got some little pieces of calamari in there, the fish. So I'm gonna place this on the base. Now, like I said, see there's the onion from before. It's cooked down, we'll have a slight little crunch to it, but it won't be raw and too big on the palate. Okay, got a few mussels here. Place them around. The fish. Okay. Last, just sprinkle that gremolata over the top. And there we go. That's my take on a traditional Sicilian fish couscous recipe.